Welcome to Couple Havoc number 2 and Instagram. I have not posted my other video yet. I got distracted. It will be posted after I film this video right here. Alright, so first and foremost, we are going to talk weapons. We are going to show weapons. And we are going to show what you can and cannot do or should and should not do. I'm also going to put these gloves on for grip purposes. Alright? Plus I broke a nail. Getting all this shit out. So, you guys see me use the wooden sabatu. You're going to see me use a Chinese sword. You're going to see me suck with some sais. And you're going to see me use a katana. Alright? Now, I did this video before for YouTube. But this is the importance of steel and the importance of training with wood so that you can train with steel. Alright, so first we're going to wipe out these sais. Get this shit out the way because these are child sais. I had them when I was a child. They are no longer equitable for my use. You will never be doing this when you use these in battle. They are going to stay in your hands. They're going to stay in your hands. Alright? They are never going to do this because that's going to happen. Clearly, the gloves have no grip, right? Is it the gloves or is it me? Is it a combo of both? Never in your life will you be Raphaeling the shit out of anyone. See how that got twisted up? Didn't look good, huh? You know, most people only want to work these because they've seen Raphael do that. Of course, his looks better. You can see both of those were failures and recovery. When I was smaller, I couldn't whirl these bitches for shit. I also realized that you will never get the chance fighting someone with a sword. The ability to do that. These are close-quartered weapons. You honestly don't want to go against somebody with a katana with these things. Because there's a good chance you're going to lose a hand. Not just a finger, and you don't put them in there like this. No, that is a fucking no-no. This, that's a no-no. These, you pull them out, you move your fingers to the proper position. Sorry. Kids at play. Now, you can come in this way, you can come in this way, or both. But what you're not going to do is this. Got caught in my glove before the fight. You're not going to do any of that shit. This shit is TV shit. I want some more. You know, when he was in the sewer, he ate the apple, and he goes, huh, let's go. Okay. 90s movie, man. Anyway, if you want to do that at home, you're just doing it for fun, it's fine. But in real life, stab, block, block. These things aren't impossible to block with. But, sorry, my live has been interrupted and hollering and screaming. But you, again, you're not going to be doing this shit. You're not going to be doing that shit. You go into battle, you go in. If you want to go in with one this way and one this way, that's fine. Reverse grip, full grip, that's fine. But when you get into a fight, you're not going to have time to worry about that shit. I say go standard all the time. Don't go reverse. Now you see me do that and it looked almost flawless. But you got to remember the years I've put into doing that. But you also have to look at reality. In reality, I can stab you with these, I can take out your eye. As far as me trying to fucking block a sword with this shit, I ain't recommending it. You want to do it, knock yourself out. And there are some people, not this person, but there are some people who literally can do this shit. Bing. I'm not that fucking good. I'm not going to lie to myself. If my life depended on it, I might be able to pull that off. And I said I might. I didn't say I could pull it off. You know, just because you can do this doesn't mean you can fight with these things. It just means you can whirl it. You know? It takes a lot of work to fight with those without doing that. Especially if you're doing that. You know? Keep that shit real. I'd have probably dropped these things about 90 times in the last 2 months of doing this. See how that happened? Now you see why you don't do that shit. If something's whirling on your finger, you cannot chart its course 1,000%. You can't extrapolate where this thing is going. This thing might not go where I want it to go because I'm trying to show off. I'm trying to Raphael this shit. Boom. Now, this shit can't always go where you think it's gonna go. It's a weapon. It's not alive. This is gonna get you hurt or killed. I apologize. That's my brother-in-law screaming for my nephew. So, I call her Mulan. This is also a weapon, for those who don't know. Strike, strike, block, 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 strike, strike. I know you're just thinking, but you just did the same shit. Yes, because a block and a strike can be one and the same. Block, strike, block, strike. It just depends on that situation and where you wind up. They're swinging, boom, I block. Boom, I block. Boom, I block. I block, I block, I block, I block. But at the same time, as I block, I'm planning my next move. So if I block and then I strike, or if I block and then I strike, if I block and block and block, I'm not real good at fencing. You're not going to do that in a fight. And my Instagram up and it's back. So you're not going to do this. Notice where my sheath is. It is on my central line to protect me. So I'm doing this. Somebody might take my hand. And if I do that, they will take my hand. Now, before you can do any of these sword fancy things, you should probably get real training. This is a katana. See how it is designed? See the tip? See how it's designed? See the tip? Okay, you see that? Put this down for a second. Sabatu. See the difference? Sabatu is hooked, more like a samurai sword, versus the katana, which is not hooked. Okay? So before you touch one of these, you need to train one of these. The reason why is this prepares you for that. Your blocks, your strikes, your blocks, your strikes. This is a stab which puts distance between you and your opponent. Now when you see this shit with the katana's a little lighter than this. It's also probably that my wrist hurts like this. Do not attempt. These gloves are not protected from steel. But see, this is not sharp. That is not sharp. So if you're blocking this way with this sword, you're more than likely not going to lose anything. If you block this way, though, you probably lose a hand. So this is more like a movie katana, because most katanas don't have these little clasp things in here, and a lot of katanas don't have the serrated teeth right there. Now most katanas are flat, like see where the blade stops right there. That's how most katanas are all the way to the hip. Okay? Now again, block, 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 thrust, strike, strike. He's going to block now. So if I'm coming here, he's coming here. We're going to meet somewhere in the middle. This sword is bent. Enjoy. I fucked up somewhere. Okay. It can't be fixed. I'll just have to deal with it. So, striking, you want to strike your opponent. Okay. For the record, let's get this done. A sword is not a toy. It's an instrument of destruction. Its sole purpose in life is to unalive the person on the other end. If I'm holding this end, I'm unaliving somebody on that end, unless that person has such a skill set that they have also trained in the martial art of blocking, 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 which means every time I strike, a high strike, they'll throw a high block. Boom. Since I'm coming from my left to right, they'll probably be coming from their left to right as well with that block. Or if they want to bat it away, or if they put it this way and bat it away, if you notice, left hand's on top now, so bat it away, bat it away. Let me explain switching grips before we go any further. Alright, I am not comfortable with my right hand at the top of the hilt. It looks like I am, but I'm not. You get used to it. So sometimes that feels better, sometimes it don't. Sometimes that and that feels better. Those are blocks, you know. I feel better with my left hand at the top. Boom, boom. I also feel like I can work it a little better. Boom, boom. You know, I just don't feel comfortable with it in my right hand. So, you know, block, block, strike, strike, you know, thrust. You'll find what feels good for you. Block, 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 block. Then you try it the other side. Block, 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 strike. You know, you're going to figure it out. But the importance of steel is that you understand what steel is for. Steel is not for playing. Steel is not for a single cut. Steel is for destruction. If you are trying to cut someone, you are not trying to just hack away at them. You are trying to give them a peaceful and quick death. You're not trying to fucking show off. So you're not going to be doing this shit. And again, before I do this, do not attempt. Also, before I do this, if you have not had martial art training, this is not for you. And more importantly, in real life, you will never do this in an actual sword fight. It just look cool because it's the movies, and everybody's misled by the movies. But understand, you need to have your transition too. So if you're practicing this at home, you know, but understand in real life, man, no one on earth is going to give you the chance to do that. No one. You think you're going to go cling, break it around, and do this. Cling, cling. Stop watching movies. You're not going to get that chance in real life. How is it going to work out? Bing, 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 bing. That's how it's going to work out. Not one time during that fight are you going to take this bitch in a reverse grip and start whirling it like this and then come back. No time is your opponent going to be doing this. It just looks cool. That's some shit that my generation got used to in the 80s. We started watching things like Ninja 3 The Domination, Revenge of a Ninja, all great movies, mostly legitimate martial artists in it. But the reality of fighting, that shit doesn't work like that. The reality of getting cut by a sword is that you can unalive yourself or someone without even trying. Which is why when they hire the artist and the stuntmen, they do hire professionals to train them. They also use prop swords that are dulled out so that you can't really hurt yourself. And then sometimes they actually film real swordsmen from the back so that you can see what your characters look like and they're doing. And then it's edited and meshed in so that you can figure it out, and you will never be able to tell if the cameraman does his job. Alright? But in reality, block, block, strike, strike, block, 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 block. They're all the same. Right to left, left to right. If you feel comfortable with your right hand on the top of the hilt, that's where it goes. And by top of the hilt, I mean at the top of the hilt, not on top of the hilt where you grab the blade, because you're going to lose a fucking hand. Alright? Your left hand feel comfortable. You know, like I said, you will find your niche that makes you feel comfortable while dealing with the sword. And those are the importance of learning how to do steel weapons. Now we're going to go back to the wooden weapon. Now, to get that far, you're going to learn with this damn thing first in most schools. I can't say in all schools, I can say in most schools, before they let you touch a piece of steel, they want your wooden skills up to par. You know, boom, 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 boom. Because the second that you touch a steel weapon, it's a different feel. It's a completely different feel. Oh, those things come from. Anyway, they're still falling. I don't know where they're falling from. Total distraction. The difference maker is, all right, like if you're gonna block with your left hand, so it's coming from your right eye, boom, you know, boom. It's coming low, boom. Coming low, boom. Coming in the middle, boom, boom. You know, you're gonna learn these things, and they're going to teach you these things because they don't want you to die. All right. If rather you're taking ninja or aikido or kendo, they're going to teach you how to work your sword. You know, block, 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 block. They're going to teach you all different aspects of that. And they have to because it's their fucking job. If you're paying someone to teach you how to do martial arts, then they have to invest in you and they have to make sure that they teach you right. Now, if they're teaching you this and not telling you the truth, that you will probably never in your life get to do this to anybody in a fight, then they're good. But if they're just teaching you this and not telling you this actually just exercise, you're going to die. And they should probably stop teaching you. All right? Here's the thing about the truth. People don't want to hear it. People like living in their fantasy. They really do. You know, bing, 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 bing. Yeah, I'm a badass. I can block swords. You can also lose a hand and your life because you decided this movie shit was real. It's cool. You just see me do it with a real katana. It's a show sword. It can still be considered a real katana because you are going to treat it as a real katana. The same way you were going to treat this wooden sword as if it was real. Same way in lightsaber class, we treat our lightsaber as if it could really cut us up. Because in real life, if lightsabers were real, it could really cut us up. And then you wouldn't have a hand. You must respect your weapon, regardless of whether it's wood or if it's steel. You must respect your weapon. Okay? That's the one thing you have to understand. You have to respect your weapon. I'm going to put these swords up. I cannot get my actual commas because I put them so far in the shed that I might do damage trying to get to them. One day I will get them. Apparently, I locked the shed. Took the keys out of my pocket so I could work out. Damn it! I'm gonna beat somebody's ass. I'm pissed off. I am completely pissed off now. God damn it. Somebody broke it and didn't tell anybody. I'm gonna find out who did it. And I'll beat their ass. Why is it not tightening up? Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little bit pissed off now because somebody broke this thing and they should have told somebody. Now I got to be real careful at training with this damn thing. Technically, this could be considered an e-tool. If you've been in the military, you know what an e-tool is. It's basically a baby shovel, but it has teeth on one side and smooth end on the other. So you gotta learn e-tool when you do infantry. Understand that you don't get an extended e-tool. The e-tool is small. Boom, boom, boom. You can really devastate somebody with e-tool. It actually folds up. I'm actually gonna go try to buy me one next time I get some money. Next time I hit Richmond, I'm going to try to hit up, God damn it, Hall Street Outlet. Alright? Understand, I went from a sword to a shovel for a reason. Alright? A shovel is a modified sword in the right hands. You know? You're not going to do this shit, though. This is movie shit. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do it when it gets smaller. No. You're not going to do any of this shit. It's movie shit. You're going to fight with that bitch. Boom. Boom. It's going to be like a frying pan and a sword at the same time. Alright? Because it's flat, but it has sharp edges. So you can thrust and you can slap. And that would be with your e-tool or the shovel. Who I got to go kick somebody's ass about because they ruined the damn shovel. They had no business fucking with it, but people around here don't know how to behave. As long as you don't know how to take accountability, no one tell the truth. Understand martial arts. I talked about breaking bricks on one of my videos. No, I'm not going to break this brick. It's not going to happen. I've never been able to break one of these damn things a day in my life. I broke a board with my foot. Not in a martial arts setting. Didn't even know I could do it. Understand that that is what we used to break in the 80s and 90s. Lots of people still have knuckle damage from that. It also has nothing to do with martial arts, other than Mortal Kombat. And certain schools that profess that you need to break one of them to pass. Alright? I don't know what genius came up with that, but the facts are simple. You can break your hand trying to break a brick. Please don't do that shit. Now the dojos and the schools, they have ready to make or ready to break bricks nowadays so that no one gets hurt. Old school people like me know that back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, you broke real bricks with your hands. Not me. But this is the thing. I break that brick, I've impressed everybody and I've broken my hand. I don't have health insurance. So how am I going to fix my hand? And what if the day I break that brick is the same day that I got to get to fight with somebody who's got a little bit more skills than me? And my primary weapon is broken. You know? I can't throw left punches on them. I am not the detective trying to save Cookie Head Jenkins. Shout out to Robert Townsend and I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and I'm gonna the fuck was the other movie? Hollywood Shuffle. So that was the one with Cookie Head Jenkins. The detective only swung left punches. He never threw a right punch. So if you break your hand, you're only going to be throwing left punches. Unless it's your left hand, and then you're only going to be throwing right punches. You don't ever want to break your hand in a fight. Alright? It takes long to heal. Might have to get surgically replaced. Your knuckles might be out of place. You don't want to do that. You want to fight right. You want to make sure that you fight cautiously. So you're going to tag that thing out there, but you're not going to put a lot of power behind it until you know how much power and how close you got to get to make that shit effective. You're just tagging each other, filling each other out, you're going to be okay. But when you start throwing them power hits, you want to make sure that they hit right. You want to make sure you hit in the correct spots. You don't want to hit solid muscle unless that's a target that you are acquired. You want to bring them down, you want to hit the sternum. You want to hit the throat. You're in the streets, you definitely want to hit the throat or the sternum. You're practicing or you're sparring or you're in a competition, those spots aren't really allowed. I watched the UFC thing come across my FYP, and I was told eye gouging was illegal. And yet I watched 6 videos of people eye gouging people in the UFC. I said, now here they go. When I was being told about what I couldn't do in MMA, which is why I didn't do MMA, because I couldn't do certain aspects that I was trained to do, like elbowing people in the back of their spine or elbowing people in the throat, because those are like lethal ordnance. They said no eye gouging, no hitting in the crotch on purpose. You know, a finger jab to the eye is illegal. If you got to jab somebody in the eye to beat their ass and you in a professional fighting system, you can't fight. I'm sorry. Fight fair or don't fight at all. Yeah, you get in there. Oh, I'm a jab him in the eye. Guy goes like this, and I eat him up. Okay, if you was in the streets, that's acceptable. But you're fighting in a professional setting, in a ring, where they clearly have told you the eye gouges are illegal. Thumb to the eye are illegal. Why are you doing it? Because you're a dirty son of a bitch and you can't fight. Sorry, I may have just offended a lot of people who have eye gouged people or poked them in the eye. If you're in the streets, hey, that's the streets. It's okay in the streets. I'm saying, if you're in a professional setting, if you are a professional fighter and you are fighting for a living, and you are getting paid to beat people's ass, and you got to poke somebody in the eye to beat their ass, your ass can't fight. I'm sorry. You don't like that shit? That's your problem. It's the truth. Now, if we out in the streets and you poke a guy in the eye, hey, you in the streets. Ain't no rules in the fucking streets. But there are rules in places like the Octagon. There are rules in One. There are rules in Havoc. There are rules in Rec. There are rules in the UFC. There are rules in ISKA. And if you can't follow the rules, you need to be banned from that thing. Sorry, you don't like that shit, that's not my problem, that's a you problem. Follow the rules. Fight with honor. Now on the streets, honor is questionable. Honor is very questionable. I know that makes me sound like a hypocrite, but it's the truth. Honor is questionable on the streets. Because here's that thing. I don't want to get beat up. I'm going to do what I have to survive. You don't want to get beat up. You're going to do what you have to do to survive. Now the trick is, which one of us is in better fighting shape? Which one of us has the better cardio? Which one of us has the better experience? Which one of us going to go the distance? And those are just like 5 out of the 1,000 variables that you got to worry about because you're fighting in the streets. At least in the ring, in the gym, in the arenas, you got rules. They're in place for a reason. Obey them. So I'm going to do a little bit more weapons demonstrations, and then we're going to call it, and then I'm going to put both of the videos and go post them because I didn't get a chance to post them because I had some family drama with siblings that I had to take care of. Alright? And the thing is, I want y'all to be perfectly safe and clear when I do bound fighting. So, I'm going to do blind nunchucks. I'm just going to walk around. I'm not going to do anything extravagant. Just so that you can see it can still be done. This is for training purposes only. You will never in your fucking life have to fight somebody blindfolded. Unless it's a pillow fight with a very hot chick and y'all are both down. And I don't just mean DTF. Put it together, people. The F is a bad word. It ends with a K. Now, do I recommend this for real fighting? The answer is hell no. Okay? I'm not going to do any jumping spin kicks or any of that shit because it's going to throw me off. But, you know, it's going to show you that I can still work my shit blindfolded. That was a recovery. In other words, I fucked up. Fucked up there too. See how I switched that grip? Now, carefully. That shit's scary as hell. You got this blindfold on because you can't see anything. And your hearing makes it worse, actually. That's a recovery. That one was perfect. That one was perfect. That's a fuck up. That's a real fuck up because I hit myself in the privates. The show must go on. Yeah, I'm in a little bit of pain right now. Remember that thing I said about being able to control your weapon? And now you know why. I know y'all saw me hit myself in my shit with these things. So they're gonna blindfold and do the chain now. Try to help me get sponsored by Gatorade. Because I drink a lot of Gatorade. And Lipton tea. Excuse me. Okay, so I got a blindfold chain. I'm gonna have to go further back because there's a hood right here on the ground. This will be scary for me, but not for you. I gotta make sure I got everything set. And again, as per freaking usual, do not try this shit at home. Make sense? Especially since you're blindfolded. Now, 1 in, 2 in, okay. Now, like I said, I usually wrap it up, but since I'm blindfolded, we're not going to take that chance. Uh-oh. It's a little out of control. See, when I switch hands, I can't wrap it up. So I have to be able to make sure that I have some control. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have to use your legs. Other than stopping. You want to make sure it hits the fatty tissue of the body versus solid muscle. Out of control. Whew, hit me in the face. What did you guys learn? Hopefully you learned not to do that shit. Hopefully I'm still facing the camera. Okay, for the most part, I'm facing the camera. Now, I understand how dangerous that shit is. I understand that is why I told you to not do it. Because things happen. You see how I seriously could have been injured. I hit myself in the crotch. So the last thing I'm going to do today is these commas. Alright? And then I'm going to pack up the ship. I don't know why I can never wave to the first person. I don't know. I hate technology. So we're going to do it as commas, and then we're going to use the commas as toppers. Damn it. Okay. That's my 5 o'clock alarm. It's Airwolf. For those who don't know what that is, that's the helicopter show with Jan Michael Vincent. Again, I implore you, do not attempt. Martial arts is not a game. These are training commas, so no one can truly get hurt, but they still hurt like the dickens when you get hit with them. Again, strike or block. Block and then strike, and pull out, strike again, versus block, strike, pull out, whip it, and strike. Can't believe I pulled that off without dropping this bitch. Okay. Block, strike, whip it out, strike again. Nope, because this blade was facing that way. I got the whip though. So block, strike, pull out, whip it. Okay, so that's how that works. Alright? But you're never going to do that. As I said this before in the other video. It's got to be more like block, strike, 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 push off so I get my blade back. Block, strike, strike. Strike again. Not this. Understand? For those who can't see that, it's supposed to look like that. I don't know if that actually looked right because I have this blindfold on. But you're never in your life going to get to do that. Alright, let's end this now. So these are tapas now. I hear something. I can't see it. So, again, you will find out if you're more comfortable going inside or coming outside. I am more comfortable outside. Block, strike, block, strike, block, strike inside, block, strike inside. Now the thing about striking from the inside is you have to get your arm fully extended and you have to get your body away from the tampa so that you don't fucking break a rib. I hope I taught you something. Whatever it is I heard over there, I can't continue this video because I don't know what the hell it is and I'm coming out this blindfold. Okay, it wasn't a person. But it's just the principle though thing, You gotta be careful where you're training. You never know who's gonna sneak up behind you and you could probably injure somebody without even trying. And those are things you have to take into consideration. Now let's do a little bit of chatting, shall we? Why did I make 2 videos and not posted it yet? Well, I knew I heard something. I'm almost done. I hope that you guys can see me. I hope that YouTube can see me. One thing about martial arts you gotta understand. It's not a game. It's not a joke. My eyes are still stinging when I open them from being blindfolded. You need to put your heart and soul into this thing. Let me angle this up. Let me brighten this so I can see how much battery I got. I got a little less than half a battery. Alright. 1. When you are going to learn martial arts, you are investing in yourself. And you need to learn the sensei, sifu, shidoshi, maestri, whatever the teacher calls themselves, whatever title they give them, grandmaster, grand wizard, whatever the fuck. They need to invest in you too. Alright? If you are paying this person this service and they are not making sure that they correct your kicks or your punches or your forms or your grapples, if they're not breaking that shit down for you and teaching you how to do it correctly, how to perform it correctly, if they're not explaining to you that you're probably not informal of forming it, it could just be your body mechanics. You could be doing it right, but it could just be something about your body mechanics that makes it look awkward. That's another thing that they don't really press for you. and they need to press for you when it comes to body mechanics, because my sidekick will never look like your sidekick. Your sidekick will never look like mine. I'm pretty sure a lot of your sidekicks are way better than mine. Same thing with crescent kicks, inside and outside. Same thing with punching and elbow combinations. My body is my body, and only I can work my body. Your body is your body. Only you can work your body. But you still have to be taught if you're doing it correctly. However, you could be doing it correctly. It's just that body mechanics are going to play a big factor in what you have to do. I'm sorry, that was cool as shit. I don't know what that bird's doing over there, but that was cool as shit. Anyway, you have to understand that if I come to you and I'm paying you $150 a month, or $150 every 3 months, or whatever the scheduled payment is, you need to have the ability to ask me questions. I need to have the ability to be honest and give you the answers that I think is best for you. However, you also have the right to a second opinion. If there are students that do it better than the teacher, it does not hurt to ask them to get pointers, because you're paying me for a service. It is highly important that I give you that service to the best of my ability. If I am training you in lethal ordnance, sorry, got a distraction over there on my left, then I'm going to pay attention to you when you're doing it wrong. I'm going to invest in making sure that you keep up with the class. A lot of teachers do not do that. A lot of teachers will give you a sideways look, make you do push-ups, and get you back in the line, which is my experience. I've had to do push-ups and get back in the line because I didn't know that my body mechanics was a thing. All right? So your body mechanics are a thing, and a lot of the shit that's coming out of my mouth may sound hypocritical, but if you've been taking martial arts, then you know that it's not so much hypocritical as just critical to the facts. All right? Like, my snake is like this. It's supposed to be like that. My crane is like that. It's supposed to be like that. From the side, snake should have a mouth. The crane is just a beak. But some people do their snake like this and their crane like this. Some people do their snake like this and their crane like this. And let me get up and show you from here. All right? See how my fist, like this? Okay? It's supposed to be that way. But some people do it with the snake here open. Some people do it with the snake here closed. Some people do the crane here open. But when you're crane, it's here. When you're snake, it's here. But snake should be open so the snake strikes. Okay? The crane, it's like a chop. But the snake, it's a bite. Alright? Now some people don't break that down to you. They don't explain it to you. And just like me, you'll probably get your hands mixed up. You may be doing crane with a snake head. You may be doing snake with a crane head. And I do that often. If you watch my videos, you can check them. So it doesn't make me a hypocrite. It just makes me showing you the catch the little mistakes. Watch my hands. When I bust out snake and this thing isn't open, I'm doing snake with a crane head. Happens. It's body mechanics. Sometimes it's habit. All right? Habits are hard to break, which is another important thing that we need to have this discussion over while we're doing this, is because how you get into these habits will wind up fucking you up when you get into a fight. All right? So when you get into an actual combat situation, your hand, your snake hand or your crane hand, and getting them mixed up, that shit happens. Same thing with eagle claw versus tiger claw. Eagle claw, your eagle is down here because the talon in the back. And technically it's supposed to be 3, but you have 5 fingers. So your talon's down here, and your claw is up here. And tiger, your claw is all here. Dragon, your claws are here. So you need to understand those things, and a lot of it is body mechanics. You might be doing it right, but to other people in their eyesight, it might be wrong to them. And then if your teacher thinks that it's wrong and he's not correcting you, then he's not doing his job. All right? And I'm not saying correcting you like being a dick while he's correcting you. I mean correcting you for your best interest in hand, and you're paying $150, $250. Some people are paying $300 a month for martial arts, but they're not succeeding and they're not being question on what the hell. Sorry, tape's a little off. I don't know how that happened. I do plan on retaping this at some point tonight, especially down here and at the tip. Sorry, completely off topic. But the teacher has to invest in you the way you're investing in the teacher when you're putting money in his wallet. It's an investment, but you're also investing in yourself. Those birds are fighting. You need to make sure that that teacher is willing to give you extra time. Like if y'all have freestyle Saturday, all right? Let's say you go to school, you go to martial arts Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all right? That's your schedule for class 1 and you're a white belt. But then they have freestyle Saturday and they have all classes on Saturday, all right? And they have maybe Tai Chi on Sunday. If your teacher does not take the time to say, hey, look, I'm gonna be here Sunday. We're gonna work on your kicks. If you can clear up your Sunday, I want you here every Sunday so that when I graduate the class that you're in to the next level, you can be in that class because you won't fall behind. Lots of teachers won't do that shit because it's about that money, all right? I'm gonna end this on this. I wanted to open up my own school. There was a lot of bullshit that I just learned about, thanks to Rob from McDojo Life, because I didn't know that certain things that I have been told was a lie. Registering your hands, having to be a first-degree black belt to teach in any school in America, and a fifth-degree black belt to open up your own school. I found out that all that shit's a lie. So I got some research that I still need to continue to do. I'm never going to open up a school unless my acting career takes off, and that way I can teach for free. Because I want to buy a place to put the school. I want to pay teachers to teach students for free. Why do I want to teach people for free? Because one, at 7 years old, somebody took me under their wing until I was 10 years old and taught me freestyle karate for 3 years for free. Not knowing that when I left them, my uncles would make me go and fight children. And because I was really, really tiny, I used what I was taught so that people who were bigger than me couldn't kick my ass. I still live by that principle today. Size means nothing to me because everybody's bigger than me. When I started taking Taekwondo, I did more push-ups in class than actual Taekwondo. God rest Mr. Innocent's soul, but he also did not take the time to get my forms straight. Because I could fight, I just couldn't do forms. And he did not take the time to do that, all right? So the lesson there is, he didn't invest in me the way I invested in his wallet. He invested in his other students. He just didn't invest in me. Because as a martial artist, I had the fighting part down. But for Taekwondo, in his school specifically, I can't speak for other schools, but his school specifically, you have to do katas and break boards and bricks to get a belt. But you don't break boards and bricks until you hit brown belt. But while you are struggling to get that white belt or that green belt, it's all about katas. And my brain, as retarded as it is, would not let me do katas to save my life. Because those first 3 years that I started at 7, I was taught how to punch, where to punch, how to kick, where to kick, how to block, what block is necessary, what block won't really be necessary. There's no such thing as a useless block, but there are useless blocks to me, if that makes sense. Let me try that again. This block for me is a useless block unless there's a hammer fist or a horse fist coming down. How many times do you see that in a fight? Rarely ever. So I use regular standard blocks, or Muay Thai blocks, or American kickboxing blocks. The blocks you see in the UFC. Where this block, that's like day one block. You step back and you block. Step back and you block. There's a reason why they call it show and tell, James. Day one block. Day one block. Then they teach you day one block and then strike. So block straight up, move over and strike. This should be down here. Boom, boom. Okay? But this is also a block. When you start taking Kempo, you'll understand that you can block and then block. And that guy's throwing 1, 2. So block and block, you just stopped him from getting in But you batting both his hands away and then you step in and you punch. That makes sense? Hopefully it did. Body mechanics. Investing in your students. If you're a teacher and you're watching this and you are not investing in your students, shame on you. Because you are going to have those students that just can't do that shit. Literally, they can't. And if your school is open 5 or 7 days a week, you, the teacher, should be able to manifest some fucking time to pull your worst students off and give them specifics. Because some people aren't going to get it even when you invest in them. But at least they know that you invested in them so that they can get as close to it as possible. And then if they can't get it, it's not that they're not getting it. It's their body mechanics don't work like everyone else's body mechanics. And this is the things that schools don't really look for. The teachers don't look for it. They just think you suck. You know? But they don't think about, well, maybe, you know, his mobility doesn't work like everyone else. Then they don't take your age into factor. No, I was like 15, 16 when I was doing Taekwondo, so it wasn't mobility, it was just my brain, and my brain mechanics didn't function with what my body mechanics was taught. They would show me like certain katas, and I did what I thought I saw, which clearly wasn't what I saw. But then he wouldn't go with me step by step through the fucking kata. Like, okay, I'm going to get in front of you, and you're going to mirror everything I do. And then I'm going to get beside you, and we're going to work what my left hand does, your left hand does. What my right hand does, your right hand does. What my left foot does, your left foot does. What my right foot does, your right foot does. If I tell you left ice cream scoop, your left needs to go left ice cream scoop. Now he needs to be studying that to make sure that it's not that I'm not getting it, it's body mechanics. In my case, it was a mental glitch and I just couldn't get it. But I could still fight. And he literally told me, I don't understand how you can fight so well, but you've never done katas day in your life. I said, because ever since I've been taking martial arts, all I've ever had to do was fight with it. And it kind of set him back, and he's like, why? And it's like, well, my uncles and them used to make me fight when I was a child. No, not in a professional setting. It's like, this is the neighborhood, this is the kid whose ass you're going to kick, or we're going to kick your ass. That's the way it was. And nowadays they call that shit child abuse. But back then, that was just people being black. You know, black cats did that shit all the time. I've never had to fight a white boy when I was 12 years old. I never had to fight a white boy before I was under the age of 12 outside of being in middle school or grade school. I've never had to have that kind of fucking issue. And you have to understand, it ain't about race, it's just how certain cultures do certain shit. I'm not just native, I'm also part black. And black people, when we lived in the ghetto, we made our kids fight. Let me rephrase that. Lots of us was made to fight by adults. Alright? And there have been times where I've had to fight a mixed person because I couldn't beat his ass. I had to cheat. You know? Knock, knock, knock him out. Knock on the door, ask for him, he comes to the door, lay him in the driveway. You know, that's just what we were done. And I'm in the projects in West Haven, I've done that at least 3 times because I didn't think I could beat the person. Found out that I probably could have beat the person in a fair fight, but they were bigger than me, so I just did what I thought I could do and then went the fuck on home. They didn't bother me anymore, but you know, they also would see me practicing and training every fucking day in my backyard. Every day. I come home, do my homework, I'm training. Now prior to that, when I was actually fighting, I didn't get to do my homework till after. So from the age of 6 to the age of 12, yeah, you don't have homework at 6. You probably get homework between 7, 8, and 9, and then carry on from there. But you know, I didn't have homework at 6. I was in 1st grade. You know, 2nd grade we had homework. After the homework was done, uncles picked me up, going to fight. It was some shit. I'm sure they don't remember it because they don't want to remember it, but I remember it. And the thing about that is, when I started taking Taekwondo, I didn't take Taekwondo for a belt. I did not take that shit for a belt. I watch Olympic Taekwondo people fighting all the time, and I said, I want to be able to do that. Same reason why I took Judo. I seen it on TV. Same thing why I took Jiu-Jitsu. I seen it on TV. Once they started becoming a sport, you know, it kind of lose the essence a little bit, but it also promotes the martial art a little bit more. And then you want to learn it. And before I ever seen Only the Strong, I started seeing capoeira because it was a black martial art. There's another one, it's the same thing, it's called Wada. One is from Jamaica, one is from Brazil. So now it's just all capoeira. But I wanted to learn it because one, it was a black martial art, and two, I had never seen it before. It took a little, not a lot, but just enough to realize I can beat somebody who has it. And then Only the Strong came out, and it showed me some shit that I never saw when I was taking capoeira. So I was like, okay, maybe I want to reinsert that. But I couldn't find any capoeira students or teachers in Virginia, specifically in Charlottesville. So I had to just practice what I already knew, watch a little bit of Only the Strong, watch some videos of capoeira, and pick it up from there. Am I good with capoeira? Fuck no. But can I beat somebody's ass who know capoeira? Fuck yeah. But you can beat anybody with any martial art if you studied that martial art. That was my logic. That is why I took martial arts. I didn't take it for belts. I didn't take it for glory. I didn't take it to be a badass. I took it so that if we walk down the street and somebody bust out and start jingling, I got him. No. I studied the jingas. I studied all the jingas. So when I see them make that one mistake, I'm going to take them out. And you have to understand, in the martial arts, everybody lacks something and they make a mistake somewhere. Teachers don't teach you that shit. They should teach you that shit, but they don't teach you that shit. And that means the teacher wasn't paying attention. Maybe they got one too many students they can't keep an eye on. But if they aren't keeping an eye on their weaker students, they're fucking up. Your strong students don't really need you, and they know how to question you. A weak student doesn't know that they're weak and don't know they're doing anything wrong until you correct them. Try to remember that. If you're going to teach, invest in your students. They're investing in your wallet. You can invest in them to make sure that you are teaching them well, teaching them right, and making sure that they are safe and being able to do what you were teaching them and making sure that that shit is going to function. As I close out, I'm going to say this. I'm going to piss off a lot of martial artists. And if I piss you off, that means that I'm either really, really close to right or you're just a bitch. 70-30. 70% of what you learn in the martial arts dojo will only work in that dojo. 30% of what you learn in that dojo will work in the streets. That's what you need to focus on. And that shit is the simple shit. Trust me when I tell you, basic front kick, basic side kick, basic back kick. Spinning hook kick, questionable. Spinning, jumping back kick, questionable. Ground game, as if you know how to get off the ground from being in a fight, good. But a lot of the other shit, breaking boards, weapons training, you're not walking around with a samurai sword and nunchucks. Not in this state. Maybe in whatever state you are, depending on how globally this shit is. But for the most part, you're not walking around with weapons every goddamn day. You do not live in a feudal society where you can just murder people because you fucking feel like it. You're not doing that. But, you know, it doesn't hurt to have the training. But the thing is, you also don't know that person that you are about to engage in a fight with until he takes your first punch or you take his. And if you can't take his and you can't get up, then you've known that you need to train harder, and he's probably going to beat you while you're down. And this is why I tell people a lot of times, they can't take you to the ground. They can't beat your ass, then they're not real fighters if they can't fight you standing up. But a lot of people can't fight standing up, so they try to take you to the ground because they want to ground and pound your shit. I have nothing against ground and pound. It's just that here's the thing. You're not getting me on the fucking ground. It's just as simple. You get me on the ground, you already caught me sleeping, or I tripped and somebody was already on top of me, and then you had to jump in. Think about fighting. I said this before, I'll say it again. Fighting ain't a game. You want to learn how to fight before you get into a fight. You don't want this thing right here getting rearranged because you ran your mouth and thought you were somebody because you watched a couple of videos. You don't want that. Because then you're going to find out real fucking fast, quick, and in a hurry that you are not a fighter. Understand that shit. Now, can I be beaten? Yes. But they're not going to beat me without a fight. They're going to earn that shit. The second that you think you can't be beat, you get your ass kicked. And it's going to be kicked bad because you think you're invincible. No one is invincible. That being said, I'm Echo Fan Grey Wolf. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. Be seeing ya.